Bro, what a great way to start real quick, the podcast. Andrew Yang, why are Trump and Vance publicly railroading Zelenskyy? It's gross and it feels like they're carrying someone else's water. And I was just watching the videos from the Oval Office right when you text me that, right before we hopped on, and I can't fathom why he would tweet that out or X that out.
Andrew Yang, get your shit together, man. This is an emergency broadcast. RPT. I am the comedian Chingo Bling. We got Rob G, producer at large. And
Voila.
we got an APB on Rob G TV. And yeah, man, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Of course, we're going to talk about the Epstein binder, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But breaking news: Andrew Yang is a puto face. Is that like the new talking point? They're trying to make everybody Russia, Russia, Russia. But guess what, man? People tired of this little coked out dude that pulled up in a damn Lululemon sweater, a black Lululemon, talking about basically looking like he was expecting some cash. You know what I mean? Like his whole demeanor, just like, hey, I'm talking over you, and y'all have an ocean between y'all, and y'all might not feel it now, but you will feel it soon, dog.
Bro, somebody's one of the comments was like that Castro fit isn't working anymore. I just thought that was funny.
It's not working no more, dog. Like people starting to catch on. And
Andrew Yang, the first comment to that is correct. The people's water, to his his ex, which is yeah, that's what the people asked for.
Talking about carrying water, bro. It's like I guess there's always like two movies on the same damn screen. You know what I mean?
No, it is.
But what Andrew Yang needs to really read the room and take into account is that how many billions did we give this dude, and he did not say thank you. And
he didn't say anything other than give me more.
And for the last 4 years, you had Sleepy and these like old school ass whatever you call these sellouts, these globalists, neocon, neoliberal, whatever the hell they are, warmongers, basically just handing over money, and we've been knowing about 10% for the big guy. Like we've been knowing that Ukraine is up to no good with all this money.
Have you seen any of the exchanges between Zelenskyy and Trump and Vance?
Yeah. I saw about a good 5 minutes worth.
All right, let's play this one for the audience real quick in case you haven't heard what it's kind of sounded like, because you're going to see the headlines as soon as this podcast drops. It's going to be everywhere. Heated exchange, this, that, and the other. We have a Russian, I guess, journalist that was kicked out for using fake credentials to get into the Oval Office. It's nuts. All right, let's see. You're not winning, Trump tells Zelenskyy. This is the first one here.
You don't have the cards.
In big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
But Dad,
You have a good chance of
We are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
the
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You voted
We gave
for
you
your
military equipment.
You
and
voted
for your
ended up
president.
to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
Bro, letting him have it.
and you know what, to me, because this is all unfolding, and I'm just a pothead comedian. I'm headed to New York City, March 7th. Get your tickets now. I'll be at Rodney's Comedy Club. But what's interesting to me, bro, is just from the outside kind of looking in, right? Because this is all kind of like really entertaining to peep game in terms of, okay, what are they doing different? The fact that they're having a real negotiation, like trying to have some diplomacy, at least on our side. Zelenskyy, he just looks like the teenage kid that's like, but I want to go to mall. All my friends, you know what I mean? It's dance club party. I need $250. I need key. I cannot go in Honda. I need BMW. Give me keys to BMW. And Trump's like, no, if it wasn't for our BMW, no, what happened last time? You left it filthy. You never wash it. You always bring it back empty, and you never say
Didn't fill
thank
up
you.
the gas tank.
And JD Vance is like big brother. That's like, yeah, I think it's totally irresponsible that you keep letting this scumbag, go to the mall and with your credit card. But what's interesting to me, bro, is the fact that they had this meeting transparently in public, and that variable made it to where Zelenskyy for a minute was like, oh, I can take advantage of cameras. And and try to, he's trying to hide the fact that he's coked out of his mind. Like somebody said, saca la bolsita a couple times too many in the limousine, right? On the way up, he's like, oof, I just landed in D.C. Heesh, long flight. I need a little bit pick-me-up. Anybody got a little pick-me-up?
Where's Hunter Biden at?
Yeah, oof, must hit toilet. A little bit too much pick-me-up. Yeah, somebody call Hunter. Where's Hunter when you need him?
Bro, it's so nuts, man. And it's funny that you sent me that screenshot too, because I was wondering as I was watching these clips what the reaction was going to be from the people on the internet, right? Essentially, the people who are supposed to be the most in not in the know, but in the just inner workings and keeping tabs of it, maybe chronologically putting stuff out via X tweets, blogs, videos, whatever. And then you got people in the actual system themselves, like Andrew Yang. I guess he's kind of in the system. He's a public figure, but he's not really a prominent figure.
Hey, hold on, pause. Remember when Andrew Yang was campaigning and he was winning over a lot of people because Joe Rogan was like, I don't know, I kind of like the UBI thing. I mean, he makes a good point for UBI. And I think even we were like, man, I wouldn't mind a little UBI my goddamn self. You know what I mean? Because the robots are coming. Remember when he squirted the whipped cream in the dude's mouth and the dude got on his knees?
I don't remember that.
And his handler, his staffer was like, that's going to be a meme. Like this is a gaffe. Like,
I don't remember that.
Like Andrew Yang, I don't know how many vodka cranberries they gave you, but that's not a good look.
Dude, real quick, if you haven't seen Bannon on Tim Dillon's podcast, you really should go check it out. Have you seen it? Have you heard
Well,
any
you know
of it?
what? I'm about halfway done with that one.
Okay,
And I'm glad you mentioned it because one of the things that I did want to mention is I started listening to the Tim Dillon episode right before that one where he was ranting about Delta Airlines and really funny.
Yeah.
Hella funny. He was ranting about Delta Airlines and stuff. And also he was ranting about Elon Musk's autistic ass, and made some really, really valid points. Obviously, I love the fact that he is using his AI and his software engineers to go in there and uncover, like, Chelsea Clinton got what, or $4 billion for Haiti, but none of it went to Haiti, and just the NGOs and us paying for our own demise with our own tax dollar. Everything from the invasion at the southern border and the 20 million motherfucking immigrants they let in these past 4 years. But I thought it was interesting, like, I was agreeing with a lot of the stuff. He's very persuasive. So the stuff he was saying about Elon Musk, like, hey, bro, like, chill with the Heil Hitlers. You know what I mean? Because of the optics. And, when I hear lefties, like, Charlemagne the God or anybody, like, just overly complaining about, like, no one voted for, this is an unelected, he wasn't born in America. Obviously, I just kind of take it with a grain of salt because I'm like, man, let that man cook. Like, let him slash and fire and get rid of people that don't even have a login to their email to even reply and show that they have a pulse and give 5 bullet points. So yeah, I think Tim Dillon is like really important and really good at kind of saying some stuff that's like an inconvenient opinion at times. But like, in other words, like, I have to kind of be patient with people and kind of see things their way a little bit. Like if Charlemagne's complaining about, like, nobody voted for Elon, it's like, well, I mean, we kind of knew they were gonna do that, and we kind of voted for that because we need it, because if not, we finna go bankrupt. They just printing money.
What's interesting too is when you have arguments like that being made by somebody like, we'll go with Charlemagne. To me, I would think, or this is what I do, like, when I don't really know something conceptually how this works or why it's happening the way it's happening, I just go try to find out about it, right? So then you go find out, okay, you actually have in writing what the president can do with somebody like an Elon, who's essentially being like a consultant of sorts, how long they can be a part of it, without actually being somebody that should have been voted on, or the way the Senate confirm somebody to be a part of an administration or a cabinet. So it's all within the workings of how administrations work. Everybody in the past has had somebody like an Elon figure that was kind of a part of the team that nobody really voted for, or what have you, or were sworn in by any sense, because it's in the writings of the way that the executive branch can work, and that's things you don't hear about on the people. Charlie's not talking about that. Nobody on the news, nobody on the View's talking about it. They're just talking about it from the angle that's going to bring the most fear out of the American people.
Yeah, because I mean, I think like the biggest story behind what Elon Musk got going on with the chainsaw, because Tim Dillon was clowning. He's like, bro, you bring out the autistic dude with a chainsaw. You know what I mean? Like, he's wearing these shades, he's wearing the chainsaw, kind of like, hey, this was one of his good points. He was like, a lot of his jokes like just don't land. He's like, he's bombing with a prop. It's like a prop comic bombing, and everyone's like, where's Trump? He's a headliner. All his jabs land. You know what I mean? When he does something funny or hits you with a nickname, that shit lands. Whereas Elon Musk is like, I'm like a meme brought to life. I'm memed into existence, and I'm kind of like a meme now. And then it's like,
I know, right? You're like, do we clap for this, or
yeah,
is he the open micer?
If the spending and all the waste and all the fraud wasn't so egregious,
Yeah.
then I'd be a little bit more concerned with like, all right, man, Elon, he ain't even really from here, Dr. Brain Chip, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Bannon's not I mean, Bannon himself, he's talked a lot about these tech oligarchs and these people that want to put chips in your brain. And it's not like everybody who voted for Trump and is behind this, what do we call it at this point? Because there's not really a Republican Party. It is the Trump of MAGA, or rather the party of MAGA, the party of Trump, the party of whatever this is transforming to be before our very eyes. Now, people on the left might be like, that's a terrifying, thought to even have, but it is what it is. And I think personally, it's for the better. But if you don't want to go out there finding the answers to some of the things that they're currently, unmasking or shining light on in the first 30 days, then there's no hope that you have any interest in making sure that the future for your kids, your nephews, your friends, neighbors, kids, anybody on the planet to actually get better in the future. It just, you're doing things and saying things in bad faith. Like, there's just genuinely bad people who have all selfish intentions and don't care about the truth of anything.
Well, when it comes to like finding the truth, air quotes, finding the truth.
Right.
Well, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, if you still believe the news, if you think the truth in the news is just CNN or MSNBC, and they kind of just spoon feed you like their talking points of like they're not going to mention egregious fraud and waste and spending. They're just going to be like, just like their smug delivery. Yeah. A guy unelected from South Africa, not even from here, has access to the American people's stuff. And it's like, hey man, we spending how many millions on Egyptian sex changes and Indian this, that, and the third, and Egyptian this, and PR for Lebanese whoop-de-woo and thingamajigs.
Political puppet shows for 17 million.
Yeah, Iraqi Sesame Street, like just stealing.
Elon's on. I just got the notification from Spotify. Elon's on Rogan today.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. More breaking news.
Yeah, right. And it's 3 hours and 11 minutes, dude. When it goes over 3 hours, it's a spicy one.
Yeah. And one last thing about Tim Dillon, his overall point was that like Trump is just a better communicator, and it's almost like Elon is just not doing himself any favors.
No, he's not, and I don't know that he's necessarily aiming to do himself any like public figure type of favors. Like, he's the richest. Like, when you listen to how much money, like Bannon was talking about, that he's put into this election, right? How many checks he was writing for the amounts he was writing and the speed he was writing them. I mean, of course, people that have their concerns of somebody like that's him, who has this technocratic kind of futuristic vibe about him or mission. Yeah, I get it. Your antennas go up, but I mean, when you have people like Vance, you hear Vance talk, you hear Pete Hegseth talk. Obviously, you got Trump there. You got Cash Patel. These people who, we haven't even talked about that. Cash, Dan Bongino, it's a bright future for what you hope is truth and betterment of the United States, if that's your mission.
But it goes back to the initial point I was trying to make, which is depending on where you get your news from. Like, if you just think X.com is now a Nazi hate speech platform, then you're not even going to go on there. You don't even know about Grok or whatever. You're still Googling. Like, you're still Googling shit, and you're like, but Wikipedia, or but NPR, I was listening to, or I read in the New York Times, and it's like, bro, y'all have not gotten the memo.
Dude, what I've noticed a lot of is the bots are like, I think they're trying to find where the bots are going to come from now, who's going to fund where the bots come from, and what the messaging is. Because a ton of the comments I see is, I'll just open something, I'll watch it, and the first couple of comments will be like, fire, or what? It's something to the effect of like, got to see racism on the racism app, or got to see Russian propaganda on this Nazi app, and it's like that same kind of verbiage going down the line when it comes to like Nazi stuff or race stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess that's a talking point for the bot farms to be putting out there these days.
Yeah, my boy Frank just called me, and he was telling me that that they're, let me see if I don't put words in his mouth, but basically like there's a new wave of bots that are just designed to kind of like elicit a response from you, just so that it can kind of learn.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, they're just kind of like farming the responses to learn and adapt, just so that it could be used kind of against you in the future, meaning, probably sell you some shit. But yeah, like the thing about the country being so divided and people's different sources of information and different ways of seeing things, whether it's like X.com is going to give you breaking news with like community notes and more facts, like more truth. Like you'll be able to kind of see versus them just giving you their version. Like, Zelenskyy disrespected, Trump carrying Putin's water, and it's unfortunate if you just kind of take that as face value, then you're probably going to be one of those people that's like, Gavin Newsom doing good job in California, like trying to solve homelessness. Just
Have you
because,
seen the mashup of his railroad video going around?
no,
Dude, it's you haven't seen it?
no.
I'm gonna try to find it, but first, what I pulled up too, you're talking about, where people get their news from. Yesterday, Officer Tatum had a really good compilation where he showed Scott Jennings, kind of talking about. Did you see those two people on that show talking about why, like, Trump's just dismantling the Constitution or whatever?
They were like, do we have to give you a civics lesson?
Yeah, it's brutal. Here, I got to play some for the listeners in case you missed this or you don't follow Officer Tatum or didn't see it. It's incredible. Here, give me a second. Where am I at?
Moment that Doge is not about cutting money, right? It's not about spending. It's about shrinking government so that it'll be too small to stop Trump with whatever else is in this plan.
Why would
That's
the government? Why would the government stop Trump? Isn't he the head of the government? And you're saying the government would be too small to stop Trump. If Trump's the president, why would the government, the bureaucracy, be actively trying to stop him?
Because
they
he
want
is
to uphold
shredding
the
the
Constitution.
Constitution and creating an authoritarian dictatorship. That's why.
And no matter who was in office, I'm going to hold them accountable. But more importantly, I'm going to make sure the government is working for the American people.
Both of you all made an interesting point, which is that your view is that Trump is shredding the Constitution. I'd like to hear more about that. But that it seems to me that you all both believe that the unelected part of our government, the bureaucracy, has a responsibility to resist the political leadership. Is that your view?
That's not actually
That's
what
not
we
at all
said. We
what I
said they
said.
are
Yeah, it is.
upholding the Constitution, the principles of the Constitution, and at times that
How
we
is
have
Trump
seen.
shredding the Constitution?
My God, he's like.
I mean, seriously,
He
do we
doesn't
have to
believe
give
in
you a
balance in
civics
House,
lesson
Scott.
that we have?
I don't know,
that
though.
we put all power in the executive
How is
branch.
holding the
The
government?
legislative branch, the FBI. Now we're in control of the military.
Yes.
Silencing media.
Chief,
This is
head of
what
the
you
military.
do
It's a
in a
great part of
dictatorship.
Are
This
you
is not.
suggesting that the president is not the commander in chief of the military?
I am suggesting that the president is going to put in charge somebody who is going to contravene the Constitution, and at some near point,
Dude, it just gets worse and worse as it keeps going.
First of all, I liked Humpty Hump better when he was singing "The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump."
Oh man,
Hump,
these shows are
hump.
terrible.
That dude looks like Humpty Hump bad.
That's hilarious.
And it sounds like their entire argument, like that CNN lefty panel, it sounds like their entire argument is based on their perception of Orange Man bad. Basically, he's doing bad stuff. Therefore, all this cutting that Elon is doing is so that the government is not big enough to stop Trump. And it's like, hey man, like that's the president, bro. Like everybody voted for him, and he's doing a bunch of shit that he promised he was gonna do. Yeah, like shredding the Constitution. It's like, okay, how is he shredding the Constitution? Because it looks like he's kind of like still operating within the constraints. Hating on media. What does that mean? Kicking out these piece of shit ass propaganda outlets from the thing?
Dude, it's insane. We didn't talk about Joy Reid too. Her show getting canceled. Finally, like you're starting to see. I mean, I understand, to my knowledge, that a lot of these news organizations and people that put on that I mean, to use their word, platform people like that for years, if not decades, don't even end up making a lot of money, if any money, from these propagandists. They're just somebody that they prop up, and for so long, dude. I mean, you have her and Lemon and all these other people. Who's making a book? Take Jake Tapper. I think Jake Tapper's writing a book.
Bro, do you know what that book is about? Sorry
It's
to
a-
cut you off.
No, well, it's essentially going to be him lying to the people about how he was, trying to tell people that Biden wasn't competent and he was old and senile. Where what I'm hoping for is that he says in there somewhere, I also was telling the people for all 4 years, especially during the peak of the COVID era, of how, you just don't know what you're talking about. He's spry, he's smart, he knows what he's doing.
Sharp as attack.
Sharp as attack. It's ridiculous.
Man, how many copies is he going to sell of that? Because, I mean, either you got to have
He's willing to buy himself.
that or like those like libtard white women with wearing 3 masks, like, with all the grays and just like no sunlight, just breathing in all the carbon dioxide with a cuck husband. I think they're probably the ones that are like, oh, I can't wait for the Jake Tapper book where he shows how there was this huge cover up about Biden's dementia by the media.
He's not selling any books. He's selling 0 books.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do very well, bro, because as we've seen, a lot of stuff coming from that side has been like optics, smoke and mirrors, and like propped up by USAID tax dollars.
Facts. Man, Instagram on the desktop is not the best. I wish I'd have had this video, man. But basically, it's 2008 is where it starts, and a young Newsom is talking about the high-speed railroad.
Yeah,
and
light
it's just
rail.
it's year after year. I mean, you're going on 20 years, and then up to literally last week where he's talking about no more messing around, the light-speed rail, blah blah
We
blah.
for real now.
Dude.
Bro, are you aware of like how much of it got done? Because isn't it supposed
2 miles, I think, something like that, or something, or 20 miles, maybe 12.
I honestly don't even know, but that sounds like a damn good guess. And if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be to connect the light rail from like Bay Area to LA, right? I'm not mistaken.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could have swore. Like, come on, bro. Y'all are literally just stealing money. Like just laundering.
As of January of 25, 119 miles. And we're talking about 20 years plus in the making.
Government motherfuckers, bro, they just kind of don't know. Like, they probably had no real private sector. You know what I mean? Like, who got the contract?
Exactly.
Let me find out y'all were trying to do some like DEI type initiative, or like, we got to have X amount of, I don't know. I don't want to sit up here and be like it's the minority subcontractor's fault. Because I used to work for a minority subcontractor. Okay, so I know how those deals work. But it's like, how do y'all explain that? That would be a really good thing for people to demand. Like, hey, we need to really audit and look into like I just want to see a paper trail and like a list of events. Like, okay, well, here's what happened, right? Like Rob, if I or you were in charge of this project and we had all these tax dollars and we supposed to be getting some shit done, if you audited me or Rob, I'm pretty sure we'd have like a timeline of like, all right, look, it was 2012. We hired blah 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 and associates, blueprints, and these people said they made light rails and they kept half the money. We're suing them. That threw us off for about 4 years. Then we had to like hire these other people, and then like the price of the stuff changed. You know what I mean? Like, have some receipts.
Have you dipped into Blue Sky at all?
Hell no, I heard about it.
Yeah, same. I've heard about it. I know. I think it was Adam Curry that referred to it as Blue Cry, which I thought was hilarious. But this article reads, rogue federal staffers create hashtag alt.gov Blue Sky accounts to undermine Doge and Trump administration. So I guess there's like an alt CDC and an alt, Department of whatever, drug enforcement or whatever on Blue Sky. And again, you got to think to yourself, hey, if we're just being honest here, we're being regular Americans, white, black, brown, doesn't matter. is this really what we need to be doing? If you're on Blue Sky, should you be pushing propaganda against what the administration is trying to do for ideally the betterment of everybody in the country, right?
So they made an alternate account to show like for example, if what did you say, CDC?
Yeah, Alt CDC, Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Department of Justice.
So DHS, all right, hypothetically. So basically, DHS would have one form of messaging on X, but then there'd be this alternative,
Correct.
and
So
they'd
the
be saying something different.
Yep. The Guardian reported that more than 40 accounts have been created with alt CDC's they, them, gaining more traction and nearly 100,000 followers. The network has established a group of several subgroups on encrypted messaging apps. Yeah, it's just so crazy. I mean, federal employees have created a secret internal network to resist Doge.
Real quick, before we get into this Epstein news, major shout out to the members of the TIA, the Thermal Intelligence Agency, keeping it cracking on the Discord. I know we back at it. We coming back. We coming back, Rob. We recording again. We uploading again.
Surely.
So if anybody does want to, also if anybody wants to sponsor or be a sponsor or you know, participate in any type of way, hit us up, maybe email marisol@chingobling.com if you're a potential sponsor and you want to get some of that cross promotion love. Hey, so we got to talk about the Epstein binders.
I got to get your take on it. I want to know what you thought when we saw the pictures of, and people are saying this in a very disparaging way, influencers, right? Right-wing influencers.
Israel first.
Zionist first.
Israel first influencers.
I got to get your take on what you saw when people were melting down about this.
Man, shit, I was one of the people melting down because I'm like, well, think about it, bro, because I'm like, well, here's how I see it. It's like a blunder because you don't want to be an administration that gives, especially when it comes to this sensitive subject, like you don't want to give anybody any room to make you look bad. Like you released a bunch of redacted stuff where some of it had already been unredacted on the internet, and like you literally gave us nothing. Like, why are y'all all over there? You know, DC Drano and whoever else they had up there, Lives a TikTok, Jack Posobiec, yeah, like y'all smiling and giggling with y'all's binders, and ain't shit in there. And the American people kind of like, yo, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, FBI. I mean, obviously, somebody in the FBI, or from what it looked like, they covering for Epstein and these people. They don't want it to get out. I heard James Comey's daughter is the one presiding over Southern District, New York, and they somehow are like keeping a lot of stuff under the reps. And I started watching this clip. I don't know if you could find it or you could check it out later. It is I think the way it's called on YouTube is like Tucker Carlson talking about Epstein for like 4 minutes. And one of the clips is Tucker Carlson and Mike Cernovich, because Mike Cernovich is the lawyer who he's kind of like a political pundit, like person that tweets interesting shit.
He was partially the one that got credit for breaking the story, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that he sued to have some Epstein stuff, I think, like opened up, and then also James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe had he had footage of the lady, the ABC anchor, caught on a hot mic saying, "We had the whole story ready to blow wide open about this human trafficking, Jeffrey Epstein, honeypot scheme, St. James Island. Like, we had the whole thing, celebrities." And they didn't, you know, ABC covered for Epstein. They were like, "Nah, bitch, you ain't finna say all that shit on our network." And James O'Keefe leaked that. But here we are. They promised us something. So it kind of really pisses me off, where it's kind of like, man, y'all could have told everybody what was really going on in a different way. Like, hey, everybody, here's a PDF link or whatever, or here's an online link of the bullshit they gave us, and there ain't shit in there. But these motherfuckers got till 8 a.m., which was today. So I don't know where they're at with it. Like, yo, y'all got to cough up some real shit.
So I don't know how deep into the rabbit holes of the internet you've gone on this particular subject in the last 24, 48 hours, but how many theories, if any others, have you heard that kind of made sense to you? Like, for instance, because I think Chad Prather was also there. So one, the reason why these people were there, right? So the reason that people were there, from my understanding, was for like a meet and greet of sorts with Vance and some of the administration's, I guess, engagement and public whatever people, I guess, to kind of talk about messaging and stuff for the administration and what some of the things they're trying to do. And they kind of just had this drop on their lap saying, this is what we're going to do. They had no idea. They didn't go there for the binders. They didn't go there knowing that they were going to do this. It was just kind of presented to them last minute. So that's kind of where it starts to already not make a lot of sense and unravel of why that is. And then you start branching off into the other theories of what Pam Bondi's trying to do. Was this a play to put more of the attention on the New York, FBI and what they could be doing in case that they are trying to destroy evidence? Or go the other way, are they purposely now going to be destroying evidence because they had this delay? And you start unraveling a lot of different roads. So I don't know if you had heard any of this info, if any of it made sense to you or sounded accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some of the theories around like the strategy of I mean, some of it is kind of appealing if there was more substance, like hey, get it all to the American people. Like, why are you trying to drip it out? You know what I mean? Like a slow, and here's a little bit of info. Don't get me wrong. I'd have been there taking pictures with my binder too.
Like,
motherfuckers ain't invite me. If y'all had invited me, I'd have been right there with that little binder of propaganda. But it makes you wonder though, like, was Jeffrey Epstein an agent of Mossad and the FBI? Dun dun dun. I mean,
very good. That's a good hot take. I haven't heard that one yet.
I mean, shit, y'all covering for the boy like he down with y'all. Like,
so that same office too, I think, is the office that the FBI office in New York that was prosecuting Eric Adams, if I'm not mistaken.
SDNY.
Right. And one of the roads you can go down on the internet is that once Adams started playing ball with Trump and saying essentially drop whatever was going to be happening to Eric Adams, the FBI was like, or New York State was like, no, we're not doing that. And that's kind of where you start going down this other rabbit hole of they don't like what's happening with the prosecution of things that he may have done and how he's playing ball with Trump. So we're withholding this stuff or making a big blunder of it. I don't know. Again, there's several ways you can go down this.
Oh, like withholding Epstein stuff because of Eric. What's his name?
Mayor Adams, Eric Adams. Yeah, and the prosecution, I believe Trump was like, you got to drop the charges or something like that, and then they said no. There's going to be a special prosecutor. Essentially, who's going to prosecute him now? And New York State said that there would be a special prosecutor coming in to prosecute Eric Adams.
And what are they trying to get pin on him?
That's a good question. I have no idea because that was to me, it was a blip of a story, right? Because it was money. They had to do something with campaign money when he was running for re-election. That he was somewhere, remember, that then he had to like turn back around and go home because he was getting raided, if I'm not mistaken, or his home was getting raided.
Yeah, I remember when Trump said he's going to be indicted within the year.
Yeah.
The minute he was like, the minute he started saying our city cannot sustain all these immigrants. And you know what's crazy is that to a lot of people out there and on the internet, they think, check this out, right? Because it's going to annoy you. Anybody listening this far, you probably already, okay. They really think that all the migrants in New York are all Greg Abbott's fault, Governor Abbott of Texas. Right, that's what they think. They think, bro, I get it that they're a sanctuary city and that they hook them up and give them shelter and hotels and food. I get that. But it's Texas's fault because we're not set up for that. Y'all are. It's like, bitch. It's like, come on, dog. Like, look at the numbers. Do you even know the numbers of how many migrants y'all got over there? How many ended up over there? And what percentage of them were sent on a bus from Abbott?
I'm actually going to just use your favorite tool real quick, Google, and I'm going to ask it, how many migrants went to New York from Texas? And I basically say like 2. Let's see, or rather 200 or 2,000. Texas also, let's see, bussed over 12,000 migrants to D.C. since 2022, over 37 migrants to New York City since August of 22, over 30,000 migrants to Chicago since 22. Okay, I mean, I don't know. That's just the first thing that pops up. I'm sure we could go deep on if that's true, how much of that is true, and whatnot.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think that Governor Abbott would just is that the strategy? We're just going to randomly pick on New York. I mean, I think there had to have been some like PR thing behind it of like I don't think it was just like that random.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I also would like to know why and just to have a better understanding of what happened. But quite honestly, if you're going to talk shit about any border state or any border matter and you're in fucking New York, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Have them, have your sanctuary city, set them up, and then we'll just find out where you got these monies to fund them and put them up at the Ritz-Carlton or wherever the hell you put them up.
Yeah, that part. It's like exactly. It's like before we have any kind of discussion, y'all motherfuckers are giving them $700 or y'all spending $700 on these rooms, which lets me know y'all got some kind of little pay for play kickback situation. Like who owns this hotel and why y'all
Exactly.
paying double
Exactly. Yes, if people didn't know that.
night after
Yes.
night?
Yep. So I've got more clips here real quick of here's one. Where is it? I don't know if you saw, and we'll just play it for listeners' sake. But this is the one of Vance talking, and you have homeboy
Zelenskyy.
what looks like, yeah. Is it this one? Yes. All right, let's peep it.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for
Have you
trying to
ever
bring
been-
an end to this
have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your
No,
military?
we have problems.
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your
A
country?
lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
And here's where he kind of starts to, slowly answer. Dude, seeing this guy have to like kind of respond or answer for some of the nonsense that he's kind of just taken for free, just handouts for years now, is pretty kind of nice to see. I'm going to be honest with you. But also, he just seems so, I mean, look at his body language, right? His mannerisms. He's just such an ungrateful, smug little son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's how we see it. But
Yeah, true.
you got the Andrew Yangs and just like people that get their info from elsewhere. They're like, hey, like it's in America's best interest. Like we have to keep giving them billions, and they don't know where half of it went, and the shit don't make no sense, and they about to start World War III, and the shit don't concern us, and all them countries over there in Europe, they're not paying their fair share of security. Like why we got to be the ones footing the bill? We
Dude,
way over
everyone,
here.
everyone.
Y'all
This-
been. First of all, it's the Russian-speaking part of Ukraine. Like the way that border area, that culture of like throughout history of it's just been a shit show for the longest.
This is what pisses me off about all of these socialist, social democratic, however you want to describe them. We'll even at the top of the list right now, I'll put Canada just because I keep seeing more of their stuff and I'm kind of keeping up with what's going on up there with their parliamentary system and their I guess race elections, whatever you call them. And the way that they're just also like they're trying to play so tough, but you don't pay for your own defense. You don't pay for shit. If it wasn't for the United States, you would not exist. You would have already been absorbed so long ago and been a blip in time.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them not paying their fair share, like their percentage of GDP.
So annoying, especially, no offense, but also kind of when it's one of the ladies, it's like running for office there and she's trying to act so tough, right? Like, we will 100% tear whatever Trump, does to us, we will do right back. It's like, lady, you have like 7, people in your military in Canada. Like, relax.
Wait, what lady said that?
I forgot what party she's running for, but it's somebody that's running for parliament, I guess, in Canada. I gotta find the clip and send it to you later so you can see it and just be like, lady, shut the fuck up. Like,
Hey,
God.
do you still have the Zelenskyy thing pulled up or not?
I do, yeah.
Can you go
Yeah,
back?
you want to play some more of it, him
Yeah.
actually getting into it? Okay.
Yeah, I
for
kind of
sure.
want to just see some stuff.
Yeah. Oops, sorry, I muted it. Boom.
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless.
Whoa, I didn't see it this far. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
terrible thing to say. What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody controls the seas. Sorry, like the United States can.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to.
Let's rewind that real quick. Look at Trump. He was just kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden he said that, like, no. Wait 1 second.
Don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
how
to
it's
dictate
telling
that.
you.
Remember this.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very
You
strong.
will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a very
Pause real quick.
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning.
Pause real quick,
of the
bro.
war.
You're not.
When Trump says you're not in a good position, I mean, obviously there's a lot of reasons why Zelenskyy don't have the most leverage right now. But one of the biggest things, bro, is like think back at the propaganda campaign that went out when you had all the libtards, Hollywood, were like, oh my God, they're issuing AR-15s to every citizen to defend their homeland. That is so heroic. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bitch, y'all trying to take our shit away. Meanwhile, y'all celebrating the fact that they all get one issued. You know, you had Sean Penn getting money.
Yeah, getting awards for some shit too.
Or just going over there to kiss ass. What's that other little guy? Zoolander.
Ben Stiller.
Ben Stiller. All these people, bro. And the biggest thing is like, hey, newsflash, Zelenskyy. It is not, 2020, 2022, whatever year it was when all this shit kicked off. Like, y'all, the Democrats ain't in charge right now. Like, y'all are on y'all's back foot in terms of you being able to come up here and pull a fast one in front of these cameras and these reporters and hurry up and try to spin off your version, because he said you will feel pressure, you will feel. It's like, nah, bitch, your little propaganda machine, we cutting off the funding. Like, where did all that money come from, bro? Like, think about it. This dude is a comedian actor. And they pulled a color revolution over there. Like, I think it was Maidan, the other guy, and I think I don't know, it was Victoria Nuland or somebody, but basically a bunch of American sellouts, probably CIA intelligence agency operation. They went and pulled the whole psyop over there. They like upended some shit, had some little protests and stuff, and some smoke and mirrors, like a little fake J6, sprinkled in some propaganda, like one big old psyop, to where now you got this little comedian who was able to trick people for a long ass time. Well, your whole apparatus ain't the same. Like, it's a new sheriff in town, and you still coming in with your old tactics, trying to make some shit happen.
Yeah, I want to finish this real quick too, because I didn't finish this one before we started recording.
Not in a good position.
I
You don't
was-
have the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What else-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
wearing
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of
He
times.
sound like a drunk Mexican uncle. Hey, no, you're
Oh, all the
no.
time.
Hey, no, yo andaba. Hey, llegué a las dos. Hey, excuse me. It's like the cops. Look, the fact that they had to talk to him that way,
Yeah.
they had to. It's like anybody else would have just been like, oh, Zelensky speaking, and he come in and he tried to talk tough with his sweater because I am wartime general. I am my people. We're fighting against bad guy
Me
Putin.
playing guitar with my dick, it's in the past. I'm
Yeah.
a wartime general now.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
finish this. We got like 10
Yeah, go ahead,
seconds.
go
of
ahead,
this
go ahead.
shit. I don't know what this guy finishes saying, but let's see real quick.
Said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October.
Facts.
Offer some words of appreciation for the
True.
United States of
Just
America
thinking about it.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Ooh, and have nothing to say to that. Well, it obviously cut off, but that was funny. Trump's like, true.
If it wasn't for me, he's like, what I can do is just back off and let them wipe you off the map. How do you like that?
Pretty much, pretty much. I don't like it, man. I don't like it, and I don't like the people that try to somehow spin all of this into a positive for the United States or a positive for our culture, our country, our future. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, man, the gravy train is over, bro. So like, thankfully, we do have a great negotiator. And hey, y'all can get mad if y'all don't like it. He's an imperfect instrument, but thank God that there's like somebody. This administration, give JD Vance a lot of credit also, and anybody that's high up, involved with these type of decisions. But like, gears got to be shifted. Like new tactics, new negotiation, new leverage, and they had to talk to him like that. And they're trying to get like a peace deal to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're kind of like, hey, let's solve this shit real quick because we got a deal maker now. And Zelensky's coming in with the old playbook. Like, give me some money. I'm going to come up here with my fucking dog and pony show.
Here's another article since we're on the subject of all this. Breaking, Russia-China attempt to enlist federal workers laid off by the Trump administration. It doesn't take a lot of immigration or imagination to see that these cast-aside federal workers with a wealth of institutional knowledge represent staggeringly attractive targets.
Huh? They're going to go do what for these other countries?
Adversarial governments to the United States, including Russia and China, are attempting to hire former federal employees who have been fired by the Trump administration after thousands of employees have been let go since President Donald Trump took office. This is according to CNN, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Hey, bro, we're going to rodeo cook-off tonight.
Oh, yeah, word. You got to bounce?
No. I'm just doing small talk. Like, in Milagro, that we actually going to have a little date night. So it's kind of like, all right, let's go mingle with the people. We're going to talk to the babysitter. We got to like logistically coordinate a bunch of shit. But hey, it's Friday night. And shout out to Gomez Boot Ranch. They hooked me up with that pair back there. You see that?
Nice,
Some brown ostrich. We're working on some big stuff with them. Gomez, y'all need to come sponsor this podcast. And and Marisol is going to be representing the Hive. They're going to be an exhibitor at the rodeo. So
I was going to ask you about that actually. If I'm not interrupting, I saw you working hard, and I saw you even having to take a nap. You were working so goddamn hard.
Yeah. That was a long ass day. Building shit and fixing shit, but no, that their area, their booth is looking amazing. It's our first time there at the rodeo. The attendance at the Houston rodeo is like an amazing amount of people. So it's gonna go great. Looking forward to that. And when I went to go meet the people at Gomez Boots yesterday, I put this little Ghana cover up. Just like a temporary thing. It wasn't like a just for men where you leave it in. It was like a quick little temporary thing. And but then I had jujitsu later that night. So my drilling partner was wearing his favorite gi, which is
white gi.
A white gi, very detailed, intricate, a lot of embroidery happening.
Very expensive shoyu roll, $400 gi.
Oh damn, that's how much they are. And at one point, I like complimented. I was like, "Man, that's a nice ass gi." He's like, "Yeah, it's one of my favorites." And then he looked at his sleeve. He's like, "Oh no, what is that?" I was like, "Sorry, bro. That's my beard stuff. I'm 45, dog."
Damn.
Because we're working on this this little type of collar choke thing. So like his sleeve was having to be like here, like a lot. Like his sleeve was just all in the beard.
Damn.
So hopefully that shit comes out. I was like, I think it'll come out, bro.
If no, I got a lady. My babysitter's really good with stuff like that.
Yeah, put some vinegar in the wash or something.
Dude, that's cool, man. Rodeo time's the best time in Houston. This is the first time, I shit you not, first time in probably 15 years I won't be going to the rodeo.
Ah, wow. So do you normally do the carnival or the concerts, or what do you
Usually
normally
do at least one concert, and then we'll try to do the cook-off from time to time. But usually at least catch one full session from beginning to end, and then a concert or whatever. But yeah, we're not there. Nobody has tickets. What?
And we're gonna go catch Grupo Frontera.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, that's not tonight. That's like a later date.
I hope we see a backstage picture, and then we can get everybody together.
Actually, I should try and reach out.
Yeah, you absolutely
to see if I can meet up with Frontier Group. That's what they call them now.
Frontier Group.
That's what
We
the
need to
haters
follow-
call.
Hell yeah, we need to follow up on that. I had it in my notes, but I hadn't looked into to see if anything had developed from the last time we talked about it 2 weeks ago. That whole story with the Brownsville reporter or whatever it was.
There was a video that they uploaded where they're like sitting. It's kind of like a living room type setup, and they're just like, yeah, we just want to like talk to you guys directly. There's been a lot of like fake news, and then the other one would cut in like, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, da da da. And then another one with like one of the other band members like, hey, nobody speaks for us. Like, there's only 6 members in the group, and y'all can't take nobody else's word. I was just like, man, let me look at these comments, bro. I'm finna DM them right now. See if they look. See if
Dude,
they, see
for
if they
sure.
speak.
Have your management reach out to him too.
Yeah. Hopefully they open it. I don't know.
What if since we're reaching towards the end of the podcast, what else are you working on that people might be interested in, man? Like I know I've asked you before, I don't know if on the podcast, but like when are we gonna get the next Chingo Bling album, or whether it's comedy or music?
Okay, so look, it is rodeo time, and I just sent off some files to get mixed. It is a like I want to say it's like a country vibe, but it's a very like how country is these days with like Morgan Wallen. It's like hip hop country. So yeah, I'm gonna get that song mixed. The engineer, shout out to FM, he said he could probably have it back to me like Monday, Tuesday, and hopefully like I like the mix and I don't have to fix anything, and then we could start putting that out there, right? Because it's perfect timing, bro. Like that would be so amazing to be able to push this song around this rodeo time, and it'll probably be featured on the Greatest Hits album, like as a bonus track. So I emailed my tentative track list to So South. They're gonna be the ones distributing it. So it was like 17 or 18 tracks, and
Nice.
some of them I gotta have the beat remade because it was kind of like say for example like A Way Way or Ostrich Boots. It's like, okay, you might want to put that on the Greatest Hits, but you might want to have like a different beat.
Dope.
And then I had the beat remade for the song with Bo Bundy, the Uno, Dos, Tres, Ate Guacho. So I had the beat
Nice.
remade. I'll send it to you.
Cool.
So it's a cumbia, like it's something you can play at quinceañeras for sure. We got brand new merch, man. Sancho Department. I'm gonna bring some of that to New York because I got a show coming up. So yeah, man, new merch, chingothemerch.com.
ChingoTheMerch.com. I gotta ask. I don't know if I'm sure it'll be on there, but I personally, in my heart and head, want to see some new version or just a fucking Bookie's version again, some sort of Bookie's version.
So, what do you mean, a remix? What do you mean?
Dude, I mean the way you just mentioned that you redid the beat for the Unoca.
Okay.
Something like, I mean, because you know why? Did you see the Marco Antonio Solis video dancing to what's his face?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
That just reminded me of it. And so I saw that. I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. I don't know, beat me up in the comments if you want, or that song personally. But when I saw that, I went to my Spotify and immediately started playing Bookie's.
Well, you know what? I mean, that song could go on the Greatest Hits, but you're basically saying like just remix it, like kind of like give it a new spin, a new
Yeah,
twist.
just give it a 2025 Chingo Bling spin.
Like new lyrics or new beat?
No, new beat. I mean, but it's so good. Like I don't know what you could do to it to make it better, but I just feel like that's one of those gems from back in the day.
That particular beat was produced by DJ Quality, and he's done so many tracks for me since then, and including the country song I just mentioned and the Unoca remix.
Nice.
So like he's kind of like my go-to guy because he gets it done. He pretty much nails it. It's rare that you got to be like, oh, sorry, I didn't explain,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll send you the Unoca remix because the original was like a Bo Bundy project, which it was kind of like a freestyle, and it was like somebody else's beat. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really like monetize it like that. So
No, I gotcha. Badass. Can't wait for that. So on the comedy side though, and that's music. Do you have any moves going on the special side?
Well, I mean, we're touring like crazy. I just uploaded a clip on my Instagram, so like a stand-up clip, but not a lot of comments. So I don't know if the algorithm is like, nah, dog, just keep doing voiceovers and stupid shit. But I am touring New York City, March 7th. Harlingen, I'm working on something. Actually, this is going to go through. Harlingen, April 9th. South Padre Island, April 10th. New Braunfels, Texas, just added April 11th. Chandler, Arizona, I'll be at Mic Drop a whole weekend, April 17th through the 19th. El Paso, a whole weekend, April 24th through the 26th. So April is going to be a badass slammed month. Too bad May is kind of open. All we have in May is Kingsville, Texas on May 3rd. But yeah, March is going to be basically Papi watching the kids while mom is at rodeo. That's what March is
Nice.
going to be.
Well, get your rest, man. What time y'all going to the cook-off today?
I don't know. I think we're just going to like gather the kids from school, and my wife's at an appointment, and I guess when she gets back, we'll start getting ready and start summoning Uber.
Orale. All right, brother. Well, this is a great episode. There's gonna be a lot of developing stories this time next week. Let's put a little wager out there. Do you think we get some substantive, huh?
The Epstein list.
Yeah, something of substance between now and next week.
I see what I mean, bro. Like it was just such a letdown.
I understand.
It's
I understand.
so disappointing. Like
Especially when you didn't need to bring that up. Like Pam Bondi on day 1 or day 2, she was like, "We're gonna have the files out there." Like she didn't have to come out and say that and make that promise.
I mean, I like that they're trying to give the American people what they want as soon as possible. I like that they're like trying to deliver on what they promise. I'm not blaming her for everything being redacted. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like her fault, but it's one of those things where we're just kind of left trying to fill in the blanks on I don't want to say like the narrative, but like it's like, how do we interpret this? That you're trying to show the world what the Southern District of New York is doing, or like you're trying to show the fact that the FBI is busy shredding shit right now to cover up for these sons of a bitches. So it's kind of like it's just annoying, bro, because it's a carrot on a stick, and they're like super teasing us, like, all right, bro, give us like for example, I saw somebody post, I think, a picture of like an FBI raid of one of Epstein's properties where they're like there was CDs, USBs, like just files, hard drives, like a treasure trove of shit, and we ain't seen nothing. Like, where did all this evidence go?
Do you think we get something first? And this is a final question for you. Do we think we get something first when it comes to the Epstein files or Diddy?
I mean, damn, we ain't seen like at this point. I mean, you would think like, all right, Diddy is like a smaller fish, so we should see something. So it's kind of like, man, I don't even know, bro. Hopefully, hey, find out on the next Batman. Same bat channel, same bat time, same bat channel.
Orale, we'll see you next week.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
That's